we will want to see what we did for this evening. And each person who will come on stage will get the chance to review and revise his or her own speech. So why am I telling you this? Because if you don't want to have your image on YouTube or in our pictures on Facebook, I will ask you to raise this with our PR department, which is in the room where? Here and there. Okay. So if you don't want your face to appear online, then Rizvan and Karina will help you and delete the pictures or videos in which you appear. Each Toastmasters evening has one theme and one main host. And for today, Cătălin Bălan will be your host, and he will tell you what he prepared for us today. Cătălin?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Toastmasters meeting here, the English meeting at the end of the month. Now, as you might have seen on Facebook or on the agenda, the meeting today is about time. What is time? So, before we go into details, I would like to start with a simple experiment. Who here can tell the time? Who here has a device that can tell the time? Now, more specifically, which one of you can also tell seconds on your device? Right? Let's go with a little bit of experiment. That's a very, very short experiment. So, first off, I'm going to ask you all to tell me what hour it is. Right? On the count of 3, when you hear now, everyone tell me what hour it is. I'll wait for you to take your phones or watches. Are you ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, now.
32 seconds.
Just the hour, guys. Just the hour. But louder. I want to hear you all. Just the hour. 3, 2, 1.
7.
Right. But I didn't really hear you. Come on. I want you guys to speak a little bit louder, okay? Let's go. Minutes. Come on, everyone. Tell me what minutes you see over there. 3, 2, 1.
4.
No. Seems like it's a 4. Everyone appears to be in agreement. Okay, we go one step further. How many seconds do you see there? All right? Loud. As loud as you can. 3, 2, 1. Now. I'm not sure I got a good number out of you. Who thinks they were right? See, the real questions that we want to answer today is this, just that question. It's the one thing that I want to put forward and answer during the course of the evening. Who was right in this room? And you all told me hundreds of different numbers. Now, before we go to an answer, you must remember that we come here to practice public speaking. For that, we have our agenda that you saw before, where we will have 3 different sections. First, you will see the prepared speeches, held by 3 of our guests, 3 of our members. You will then have the opportunity to participate in impromptu speeches related to time somehow. You will get the subjects. I don't know them. You will see. It's going to be fun. Finally, we will have a section dedicated to evaluation, which is the way we improve and we learn here at Toastmasters. We don't have teachers. We learn from each other. And for that, I would like to invite on stage my colleague who prepared the evaluation team to discuss more about it. Now, I did give everyone a question to answer to help you with introductions. And the question is, how do they perceive time? So how do you perceive time? This is what everyone has answered, and you will learn about that when we come to the stage. For our general evaluator, he says you are born a manager of time. And how do you handle it? Is it a profitable thing? Please welcome to the stage, Kosmina.
Thank you, Cătălin. Always a pleasure to have you on the stage. As you probably heard, I'm the general evaluator. I'm the eagle eye of tonight. I'm watching for everything to be right. And part of it is to make sure that the team is right. And tonight, I prepared a right team for you. And we start with grammarian. He's going to make sure that you don't make mistakes. And if you do, at least you figure them out. For the question of tonight, Parkas Rizvan, he did answer. I think that time exists so that everything doesn't happen to us at once. Ban, please step here.
Hello everyone. So my role as a grammarian today is to, in all the meetings, not only today, the grammarian has the role of choosing the word of the evening and making sure that you guys don't make spelling mistakes. Let's not call them mistakes, let's call them slip-offs, because mistakes is a really bad word. So I've chosen the word of the meeting for today to be fleeting. I'm not very prepared. This is this is not the usual word of the meeting format, but it will have to do. So fleeting, it means passing really fast, or it could be used with the sense of in Romanian ephemeral. So beauty is fleeting. A fleeting car is a car that passes really fast near you. I hope you all understood the word of the evening. If you didn't, you can always just tap me on the shoulder and I'll explain it to you again. I'll see you back in the evaluation sections and have a nice evening.
Thank you, Grandma. Grandma. I like the way Yes, he did choose a very special word for tonight. We're going to have to use fleeting. Our second partner for our team is Iona Neksha. You saw her as a president. And she did answer for tonight as, I think I have some sort of internal clock. Most often, it's broken. And that's the reason I'm always late. Usually it depends on the activity I engage in. I can assure that tonight she's going to be on time.
So there is this trick where you don't say as you do in Romanian. You can use in English I can guarantee you that the fluency of your speech will be affected both in Romanian and in English. And my job here is to take note of how many times you interrupt your speech by inappropriate pauses, either filled with a sound or not. Just like this. I will take note of this and come back with my report at the end, and the purpose is for you to pay attention to them and improve. I'll see you at the end of the evening.
Time, Kronos, Saturn. That's our main character for tonight. And this is Christina Kipechuk, because she's going to take care of our time. Christina?
Hi everybody, good evening. My role for today is to help you discover and also improve your time management skills. For that, I will use these three cards. The green one will mean that you will have 2 minutes left for the prepared speeches, general and grammar evaluators. 2 minutes, orange means that 1 minute left, red the time is up. For the impromptu speeches, a counter, timer and prepared speeches evaluators, green means 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, time is up. By the end of the meeting, I will come forward with a report on these items. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. She said to each and every one what she has for us in the answer that she gave to us. Time is a gift that we receive every day. Very nice answer. And now let's welcome Claudiu. She's our body language evaluator.
My role for this evening is to just be careful about your face expression, facial expression. I don't know which one we can put it here. About gesture. Yeah. Posture. And movement on the stage. It's very, very important what you move on the stage. You will put one idea when you move, or you just make randomly on the stage. It's up to you. So I will be eye on you when you will be here. I will come with my report later. Okay?
As you can see, he has some experience, and his body is not as young as ours. And the answer for tonight is time passes very fast for me. I'm already 60% on the long road of life to death. And for this reason, I enjoy every passing moment. Thank you, Claudio, for your wise answer. And I'm going to invite back our Toastmasters tonight. And not before I'm going to give the answer for tonight, the answer of Catalin. Time is a strange beast, but I hope to reveal it to you tonight.
You know that people experience time differently. Right? There's a saying, the length of a minute depends on which side of the bathroom door you're on. Likewise, people here on stage experience time differently from you. And I would like you to give them all of the energy that you have in your applause for them to have an amazing time, for them to enjoy themselves here on stage. I'd like to also point out that it would be a good idea for you to turn off your phones or put them on silent so that we do not disturb them. And you prepare to follow them closely and give your opinion at the end of their speeches. Our first speaker tonight is Corina Rosa. She is on the persuasive influence path, and tonight she's going to bring you a level 1 project called Evaluation and Feedback Part 1. Her goal is simply to learn to accept feedback. She will then have to apply that feedback in a later speech. She told me that she perceives time as the biggest masterpiece made by humans, but even though it's our creation, we have no power to control it. The title of her speech is, What Kind of Product Are You? Please welcome with a large round of applause, Corina Rosa.
We are all designers. I hope that this sentence doesn't shock you. I know that some of you are doctors, maybe lawyers, or have embraced any other careers. But trust me, we are all designers. Last month, I finished my second year of university. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm studying design at the Fine Arts and Design University of Toronto. By finishing my second year of university, I hadn't every time with me. I realized that our lives are based on design principles. And we are the designers of our own project. This is Theodore Rams, one of the most influential designers of the 20th century. Even if you don't immediately recognize his name, I'm sure that you'll ever use one of the hundreds of products that he designed. He's not only famous for the fact that he was the designer of the well-known company named Brown, but for his precise ideas about the correct function of design in this messy, crazy, and out of control world that we're living in today. So let's see what this guy has to say about what makes a good design, and why do I consider that those principles can be applied on human skills. First of all, good design is innovative. This is a step-by-step process. A product has to always be updated and new. It doesn't necessarily have to be a new product every single time, but better versions of your original one. So this can be applied on us as well. We are constantly trying to develop ourselves. We always want to accumulate new knowledge so that we can become more comfortable and accepted in our group of people, at our workplace, or in society in general. Second rule of design is good design makes a product useful. Meaning that a product that has no utility is considered to be a failure. But good design has to satisfy not only functional, but aesthetic and psychological criteria. Because let's be real, no one wants a beautiful coffee maker that cannot make a coffee. So it's the same with people too. In
general, we tend to appreciate those people that are living the life of the fullest. They are trying their best, they are following their dreams, and they are working hard and helping others. Those are the ones that are becoming our role models and our motivators. Good design is also aesthetic and understandable. But aesthetic doesn't necessarily have to mean beautiful or attractive, but it is of course it is a plus. But think about the big and small holes in a pair of scissors. Without anyone saying anything to you, you are capable to fit your hand into the handle and begin using them. This is the best example of the pure aesthetic design. Is the use of design to explain everything about the product. So in this case, what makes us an aesthetic product? Obviously, a clean appearance and a friendly looking. But the most important thing is to let people know and understand us. Good design is also honest. And I got a question for you. Which one of you present here appreciate those 5 annoying minutes of advertising by watching a TV? No one. We know that it's all lies. They are only cheap products waiting us to buy them at a high price. So we should try to be as fair as possible. Our cover has to match with our inside. Otherwise, the people will find out that eventually we are only a cheap product with a good advertise. Good design is long-lasting. As we invest money in the product that we are buying, considering that the more it costs, the better the product it is. And in most of the cases, that's kind of true. We also invest time and feelings in the relationship with others. That's why we should make sure that either the product we are buying, the design we are making for ourselves, or the people we invest in, are long-lasting and beneficial investments in our life. The second rule of design is good design is environmentally friendly. I won't open this subject because I know that there is too much to talk about. But in this case, we should all learn from the eco-friendly products. Because we should all care about this beautiful planet that we are living on. And the last one, and this I consider it to be absolutely the best one, good design is as little design as possible. We all know that kind of kitsch product that makes us ask ourselves, who on earth could possibly design this? In design, as a life in general, it's recommended to do less but better, to simplify and concentrate on the essential aspects. As you can see, design principles can be applied on people as well. But the main difference between you and an object is that you are the designer of your own project. You can improve your qualities, you can change your features, and you can create unlimited better version of yourself. All in all, we are all the same project. But I want you to remember that our uniqueness comes from the combination of experiences, good qualities, and our best features. And that's what makes us a good design. Look in the mirror and realize the designer you are. Realize as you go through your life the little problems that come up, and how you can easily and naturally design solutions to solve them. Once you're aware of that, the design principles will all make sense, and you will begin to create better solutions that will change the world around you, making things easier for you and for those around you. So my final question for you is, what kind of product are you? Thank you.
If you like Toy's speech, it is a perfect time to give her a little bit of feedback. For that, we use a mobile app called Slate.do. For today, the password has changed, so it's not the usual TMC, it's TMCL. There's a fourth letter in it. You can see there, you will have a minute to give her a little bit of feedback for anyone who is inclined to do so. for our next participant, or our next speaker. Her name is Diana Rojan, and she's again on a level 1 project from Innovative Learning, which just happens to be Evaluation and Feedback Part 2. If Corina had to learn to accept feedback, Diana has to learn to apply. She received feedback from her last speech. It was primarily focused on eye contact and not looking at the ground or behind her during her speech. And today is her goal is to apply that feedback in her own presentation. She told me that I depend on watches to point out the time for me because I actually don't perceive it at all. I guess that explains why I'm always late. The title of her speech is The Work. Please welcome, again, with a huge round of applause, Diana Rojan.
Alright, I couldn't be happier that Corina was here before me because she introduced the same topic I want to tackle. She talked about us as products, as something that we can also design. We're both a product and a designer. What I want to share is how you can actually do the design part. What you can actually do practically to apply what we know about reality. What do we know about reality? We know that we don't see. We know that we perceive reality in our own way. And we know that we only know the story we tell ourselves. We don't know what things are for real. Right? Who's with me?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Okay guys. So let me give you a huge ridiculous claim that I am going to solve all of your suffering tonight. Would that be nice?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can notice you don't really trust me on this, and I'm going to have you promise me something. Because this is a small price to pay to get rid of all the suffering forever. And notice I didn't say pain, I said suffering. Because I believe that pain is something that we inevitably experience in life. But suffering is something that happens from within us, from our story that we tell ourselves. And we can change that story. And I had a little epiphany. But first, I want you to promise that you're actually going to try this exercise on paper. I'm not going to continue until everyone has this. Reading. Alright? I have a reason to make a promise, guys. Okay. So I shared this information with my best friend because I knew this was going to change her life. She took the information, she never applied it, she gave me the book back, she said it's stupid, never helps anyone. But I had a huge epiphany. And if one of you is going to have one epiphany tonight, then I'm happy. So how did I have my epiphany? Well, when I was a kid, I used to suffer a whole lot. My parents would argue all the time, and I would be a wreck. I didn't have time to play, I didn't have time to think, I didn't have time to be curious of the world or about myself because I was always trying to fix their problems, trying to make things right, and solve everything that was wrong with them. When I got in my teens, I realized I had no idea whatsoever who I was, what the world was about, what my interests were about. So, what do people do when they don't know where to start? Well, nowadays, people go to self-help books. And I went in the industry like a storm. I had everything I could get my hands on, and I fell in love with Superman. Superman is Tony Robbins, you guys. I hope you guys know him. And I went to his seminar because I wanted to see him live. Because I knew that he was able to change my life forever. He was able to fix me and fix my world. So I went to the seminar, I danced, I sung, I did whatever he told me to do. I actually applied stuff. And when I was on the plane back home, I realized nothing changed. Like nothing. I was still the same, everything was just as bad, and I was still suffering just as much about the same old problems. But something funny happened. I think it's like a twist of fate on that plane. Something that never car trip, and we talked breathlessly. We talked about the most intimate stuff I have never talked about with anyone else. We talked about sexuality. We talked about our own stories, our childhoods, our fears. We talked about the scariest things on earth. He told me about his divorce and how he raped his wife, something he had never told anyone. And I was empathetic enough to understand that in their culture, that could be a thing. And, well, we ended up sharing deep stuff. And something magical happened when he grabbed his feet and took out his journal. No one has ever showed me their journal and let me read it. And it was fascinating, because this guy had a really, really particular way of reflecting on his own thoughts. Really specific. He did something different. And he told me he learned that from a book that I brought with me, and that I didn't buy for almost half a year. Because it looks like this. It's this old lady here. And I was like, I don't know. She can't teach me anything. I mean, Tony Robbins is like a huge guy, and he's impressive, and this lady, I don't know. But I finally bought the book, and I learned the technique that I'm going to teach you tonight. And it goes like this. First of all, the problem with police and noticing when we have a bad story is that it's our story, and we don't feel that it's wrong. We feel that it's normal. It's so normal that we don't see it. It's hidden. So how do you know when there's a story you have to tackle it? How can you see the invisible? Well, you don't. You feel it. When you have a bad feeling, when you feel that something's wrong and it's off, well, it's probably something that you are generating in your own head. So it's time to take out a piece of paper. And I made you promise to take out a piece of paper, and not just do it in your head, to actually write down the thought in your head. And I'm going to walk you through my own epiphany with my parents. So I wrote down, I'm suffering because of my parents. Okay. The second part is starting the inquiry, starting the question. And we have 4 questions I want you to ask yourself whenever you feel like you're suffering. The first question is this true? And you're going to go, yeah, I'm not suffering for any reason. I mean, I have a reason. And I was like, yeah, of course, it's true. And the second question is, can I be absolutely sure this is true? Is this objective? Is this real? And I was starting to question, okay, maybe it's not. Maybe all of my memories, maybe I've told them so many times that I've distorted them somehow. Maybe it's not like 100% true, but it may be like 70%, 90%. Well, let's walk on. The third question is, who am I, or how do I react when I believe this thought? Who am I when I think that I'm suffering because of my parents? Well, I'm disconnected with my parents. I never called them, even though I missed them. I complain a lot. I blame all of my shortcomings on my childhood. And yeah, I have a reason to be a victim and not try. That sucks. And the fourth question is, who would I be if I didn't believe this thought? Who would I be without this thought? And then you start to wonder, okay, if this were true, who would I be? I'd call my parents, I'd be happier, I'd be more myself, I wouldn't have this huge excuse, I'd be better. So now you have the benefits, and you know this. Okay, my life right now is like this, pretty crappy, but it could be like this if I didn't have this thought. So now I have the motivation to go further. The third step, and the most important step, is to turn it around. Byron Katie, the author, calls it a turnaround. So you take the thought, and you start to find arguments, you find reasons to move the turnaround. So let me give you an example. I'm suffering because of my parents was my hurtful thought. Let's say I'm not suffering because of my parents. Could that be true? Well, I'm healthy, thanks to them. I'm here, thanks to them. I had education. My dad picked me up and brought me up to school with a car. I didn't have to run the bus. I had so many reasons to thank them. My mom would brush my hair. They would give me gifts. They would nurture me. Why am I so pissed off? keep on telling myself just like I have it for 25 years. Could that be true? Oh, it's very true. And that's when I had my huge epiphany. And I took the same principles and I applied them on paper. With the health scare, and I lost my symptoms because I kept telling myself, I'm so sick. I'm so sick. Oh my God, I should be feeling bad, and then I started feeling it. And then it all went away. And I started applying this in my own life. And you guys have made me a promise. I'm going to post the questions on our club Facebook page so you can find them if you ever feel like you're not having your best day. To start testing the inquiry and start noticing that you're suffering just backwards. It's you who is causing it. And now you have a practical tool to use it. Thank you.
Give off any secrets, any deep secrets, but it would be very nice for you to give some feedback. Again, I'll speak up though for another minute. Thank you very much. Passed. But a fleeting moment of silence in this evening. Just enough to let us room for the next speaker. His name is Adrian Sălășan, and today he's tackling one of the advanced manuals from the old, from the traditional education reform. His manual is entitled Persuasive Speaking, and he's presenting the fifth project from that manual today, the Persuasive Leader. His objectives are simple: to communicate his vision and to persuade us to work towards achieving that vision. He told me about his perception of time 1 second at a time. Sometimes the second is longer, other times it's shorter. It depends. Again, the final round of applause for our final speaker of the evening, Adrian Sălășan.
How many of you believe that the leader of a project or a team is a very, very important factor in the success of that project or team? Okay. Pretty much everyone, which is not surprising. Some of you remember a previous project of mine in which I talked about Toastmasters' potential for leadership, the organization opportunities for taking leadership positions. And many of us, I think, especially today, are probably sick and tired of noticing how many fake leaders we have at the very top of the hierarchies in our politics, sometimes maybe even in our economical organizations. And what I hope, what I think, is that us, as Toastmasters members from this club and from other clubs, can improve that situation in the sense that we can learn enough about the leadership skills in such a way to at least recognize them reliably in others. And hopefully, at some point, a small percentage of us will learn enough about these skills to become the leaders at the very top of those hierarchies, political, economical, social. In my previous project, I spoke about these leadership opportunities and how many jobs with learning opportunities there are in our organization. And there are at the club level, at the area level, division level, district level, and so on, plenty of opportunities. However, this is still an incomplete story because, as in every organization, positional leadership, so you have here a director, 4 managers, and a bunch of team members. This is classical positional leadership. In any company, you'll see an org structure like this. Now, the problem with this structure is that it doesn't scale. You have 20 potential leaders here, and not all of them will be able to become this guy at the top, right? So there are 20 potential missed opportunities, and you never know who is the next potential leader. How are you supposed to know? I mean, there are some potential leaders here, maybe. What do you think? Do these guys look like leaders?
Blow me up.
How about these guys? They are the same people.
So.
So, my point is this. Many of us are in that bottom part of the organizational hierarchy, and we don't know, and our colleagues maybe don't know what our potential is. Okay? And studies have shown the fact that fear of being held responsible for the outcome of a project or of team is what almost half of the people are really afraid of when it comes to taking on leadership positions or additional responsibilities. So, what I'm saying, what I'm proposing for you is a new perspective, a new solution for this problem. Leadership in this way doesn't scale. So how about thinking about leadership in a different way? In thinking about leadership as a step function. So how do we become from individuals, actual contributors in a team, and then leaders? Not necessarily positional leaders. Let's think about what it takes to become a leader. Maybe it takes some training, right? Knowledge. Maybe it takes pressure from the outside. You need to take this responsibility from parents, usually. Maybe we need leaders or mentors that teach us how to become leaders. But maybe we also need an approach moment to moment, thinking about leadership in a day-to-day, minute-to-minute, second-to-second kind of way, in which we can make decisions to be leaders in this moment. So let me give you an example, a practical example. Some of you know that last November I was out for about 6 weeks, at least 6 to 8 weeks, because of a health problem in my family. My mother had a really serious health issue. She was basically operated, and the surgeon who operated on her said her intestines had popped, and the contents of her intestines were in her stomach. So she was, frankly, 24 hours, this is what the doctor said, 24 hours away from being forced to live for the rest of her life with a bag hanging outside her stomach for the contents of amputated or cut off intestines, and 38 hours away from dying, presumably from the infection caused by this spill. Now, during this experience, I had many opportunities to notice in myself and in others such leadership moments. One example is related to some relatives who kept calling my mother in the days after the operation, and they were calling and insisting many times a day, and when she finally was able to pick up the phone or call her back, they would bitch about, pardon my French, the fact that she did not answer in time and that they were so worried about her health. During that 2 hour, 3 hour, however many hours period that had passed from their initial call to her answering or calling back. This all culminated with my father starting to cry a couple of days after the operation, crying in front of my mother and saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do if you don't recover and you're not going to live going forward?" So my leadership moment at that point was an anti-leadership moment. My reaction was, this whole situation is not about you, you blundering idiot. Okay? It's about somebody else. The lesson was that I did not speak out loud these thoughts and feelings that I had, and I restrained and, I don't know, tried to give him feedback later. But I'm not the good guy in this whole story, because I also had a bad behavior during this whole history, because I was at home in the weekend when it all started. And my mother was complaining about her health. She was feeling sick, very sick, and she has some chronic gallbladder issues. And because of this and because of her personality, she likes to complain. Myself and my sister, really ignored her complaints. We said, "Oh, okay, it's your gallbladder again. Just suck it up for a couple of days and it will be fine." And it was my girlfriend at the time who was visiting my parents together with us, who had a leadership moment and said, "Look, guys, she hasn't been to the bathroom for the last 24 hours or more. She's feeling really, really bad. Are you sure the symptoms are similar to the ones that you've seen previously?" And based on this moment, myself, my sister, and her, we made the decision of not allowing her to stay at home until Monday to go to the emergency room at home in Hedora, but rather she came with us in Cluj in the same day, and she got operated on 3 or 4 hours later instead of 24 or 48 hours later, which, I remind you, might have meant a life of carrying a bag or no life at all. So my call to action here is to think about yourself as leaders, even if you are the top or the bottom of that hierarchy, and take the opportunity of acting as a leader moment to moment, second to second, in this very normal day-to-day way. Whenever you have the opportunity to say, how about acting as if this whole situation is not about me, do that. Because you might think that you're not important. You are one little speck of dust among 7 billion specks of dust, right? But one of my favorite authors, Jordan Peterson, has a saying. He says that during our lives, we are probably going to meet and come in contact with about 1,000 people. And each of those 1,000 people are going to come in contact with another 1,000 people, which means we are 2 people away from 1 million people. And the way we act in every moment is potentially going to influence the 1,000 people, maybe the 1,000,000 people. And to prove this is true, I did a LinkedIn search for CEO of Microsoft. And in these days of social media, this is very easy to do. And current CEO of Microsoft Global is here, CEO of Microsoft Sweden, Microsoft UK, and so on. They are all third connections for me. You know what this means? This means that a friend of my friends on LinkedIn is potentially in that guy's network. So, consider this. 1,000 people in your life, you can potentially influence this way or that way. Choose the right way.
And again, we have another minute of silence for us to give feedback to our lead speaker. remind me of long summer nights spent looking at the stars. Do you guys know how far stars are? Right? The closest star is at least 1 light year away. And I bring this up, talking about space and distance, because you can't really reason about time and ignore space completely. You have to talk about both. See, when light takes a year to get to us, it means that we see those stars in the past. Right? We don't see their present, we see what happened to them a year from now. Now we all know that, but have you ever considered that if aliens live there and they look at us, they see us in the past? Have you ever thought about that? We don't have access to their present. They don't have access to ours. Does that mean that there are 2 different presents, that there is no present? Is there a single present out there for everyone if we don't have access? Now if I ask you, for example, to tell me the time, it reaches me after a fraction of a fleeting second. Again, I don't even know if the present is the same. That's why when I asked before who was right, I think everyone here was right. Because everyone has their own time. We never have access to each other's presence. We only have access to our own. Now, this is food for thought for the next 5 minutes for you guys, which will be a break. During this break, I'd like you to find someone you haven't talked to before in the club or amongst yourselves as guests, and try to discuss this or try to figure out if this makes sense to you. And to not forget about the fact that we have improvised speeches. Please try to look out for Laurentia over here and sign up for the speeches right after the break. That will start now. We will see each other in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. So it seems the room has gone quiet, very thoughtful, I hope. So are you guys ready to come up on stage and do some interesting improv? Come on, cheer up. Are you guys ready to join up on stage? Woo! All right. For that, I would like to invite you, Laurentia. And not before I tell you his answer, of course. He told me that time is like pieces of light that at some point happen now. Please welcome him on stage, your guide for tonight for the impromptu speeches, Laurentia.
Hello, lovely people. I will be your table topics master for tonight, and my job is to encourage you to come here on stage and defeat your fear of public speaking, and also to use your creativity on the topics I will give you. It's a great chance to get out of your comfort zone and to feel vulnerable in front of other people. I also encourage you to use the word of the evening, pleading, and I will welcome the first one, the first courageous person, and he is Rahul. Please say a number between 1 and 7. 4. You are late at your first date, but still managed to make a great impression. How was that? I will read it again. You are late at your first date, but still managed to make a great impression. How was that? Good luck.
Alright, so let me tell you a little story. It's about how being late isn't always a bad thing. So the basic premise is, nowadays, you're supposed to be on time or even early just about anywhere you go. Right? You're supposed to be there 5 minutes early. You don't want people to wait on you. Well, in my case, I went on this date with this girl I've been really looking forward to seeing for quite a while. And basically what happened was I didn't catch my bus, and I had to run all the way to the restaurant. That was quite a long cardio day. But anyway, when I got there, she had already ordered and was sort of anxious to see me. And what happened was, I was so drenched in sweat that all she could do was laugh in the first couple of minutes, because I was like trying to catch my breath, and I was saying, you know, I was late because, well, and it was just a constant attempt to say something to her about why I was late, and it actually turned out to be such a great thing because we were both quite easygoing about it. I told her once I caught my breath why I was late, and she was quite all right with it, and we ended up having quite a great time because in the end it doesn't really matter how much time you spend together with the person, as long as that time is qualitative and you don't feel compelled to say something or be there on time or just do anything specific. You just go there and you're in the moment. Right? That's what's important in life in general, let's say. To be there in the moment. It doesn't really matter if you're there 5 minutes late or early, just be there. And that would be it. Thank you.
The next person will come in front will be Mihai. Please pick a number.
3.
3. You are 88 years old and you are happy with how you spent your life. What's your secret? You have 88 years old and you are happy with how you spent your life. What's your secret? You have 20 seconds.
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully I'll reach that beautiful age of 88 years old. So, 60 years from now, I'm 88 years old, and I'll share with you in such a short time my secret for such a beautiful and wealthy and full of experiences life. I always reflect at a very popular and famous quote from Steve Jobs, which says something like, "Don't waste your time living someone else's life, and don't be tracked by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking." And I think this is a quote that basically tells you to create your own life, to do what is meaningful for you and what you think that will bring joy into your life. I mean, don't work 8 hours if you find joy in traveling and you have still money to live by. And as Corina said, be your own creator, create your life, don't let yourself influence or, as I've said previously, living someone else's life. Go to the mountains, read stuff, be prepared for the next day, and try to bring a smile on each and everybody's face. Thank you.
The next person is Ramona. Please pick a number and not 3, 4, or 7. Einstein said that time is relative. You don't really know what that means, but you are a new and big fan of him, and you want to convince your friends that he is right. How will you do that? Einstein said that time is relative. You don't really know what that means, but you are a new and big fan of him, and you want to convince your friends that he is right. How will you do that?
Okay, so I think one, I think Einstein is true, and yeah, time is relative because, for example, if you are, I don't know, somewhere and it's boring for you and you
the next one will be Alexandra.
But that was a hard one. I wouldn't know anything to say about that. You at least talked. So. Yes, please, one.
You are 40 years old and think about how great your childhood was. You want to discover a way to bring it back. How will you do it?
Hello. My name is Alexandra, and I am actually nearly 40 years old. A little bit plus, but that doesn't matter. I'm here today for the first time, and I do this control thingy for the first time. Be kind. And how to get my childhood back? I invent a time machine. Who of you watched this Back to the Future thingy? You are too young, maybe. You might not know that film, but it's, Google it, it's available. And it's magnificent. So if you find anywhere I would really try to go through all the universities and find myself a really cool, clever person who knows how to build time machines, and I bring all these persons from all over the world to, get a poll out there and on the internet and Facebook looking for professors who can build time machines, and we just try it. And if it's not working, then we just pretend, we can just build up my whole childhood again, my room, my dolls, my Barbies, my friends. We go and play again all the games you used to play on the streets. It was awesome. If you can't find a time machine, just be yourself. Just go crazy. You have nothing to lose. Just one life. That's it.
The next person who will come in front will be Cornelia. Please pick a number. 2, 5, 6, or 8.
6.
You are a sci-fi writer and love the concept of time. How will you integrate it into your next book? You are a sci-fi writer and love the concept of time. How will you integrate it into your next book?
Scientific books. And if I present this kind of theme with my book, it will be really interesting. Thank you.
And the next person who will come here will be Roxana. Please pick a number between 5 or 8. You developed the first watch in history of mankind. How did you do that?
A lot of tough questions, right? understand how important this invention is for all of us, because otherwise we couldn't apply all the advice that we received today. Like, for example, our first colleague. It's okay, quite advisable to be late. So without the watch, we couldn't be late. Second was that it's important to party. That's what I learned from our second table topics. And without time, we couldn't code for 15 hours in a row, so we couldn't keep track of all our effort in improving this work. And then, third, if I wouldn't invent the watch, Einstein couldn't define the theory of relativity and find out for all of us that time is relative. So I will leave you with that. I will tell you that there will be watches in our world in a couple of thousand years, and I hope you will all enjoy your time on Earth at that time.
Now, I invite you to enter on speed.do and vote your favorite speech. And the table topics, persons who came here in front, I will tell you to stand up for everyone can see you. The first person was Radu.
Hello.
The second one was Yulia. The third one was Mihai. Ramona. Alexandra. Cornelia. And Rosa.
That was it. That was all the speeches for tonight. The only thing we have left is the evaluation, part of the evening where we actually learn something from what we've done right or wrong. For that, again, I would like to invite on stage our general evaluator, Toastmasters.
Time is speeding away, as we know. But what's best, well done. First, I would like to start with the whole evaluation group. And only inviting the phone here to do the evaluation for the first speech. Georgia Blaga or Corina Rus, she had first level speech, get evaluation and feedback, and as an objective to learn and accept feedback. I'm sure she did that pretty well. Georgia, where is Georgia? Am I doing something wrong here? Is it Dragoș? Georgia did answer for the night question regarding time. Time is paying, living, and loving, all with only one word: time. Georgia, you have the time?
Hello everyone, sorry for late. Where is Corina? Oh, come forward, because I have a lot of stuff to tell you. First of all, I will start off by saying here we evaluate the performance and not the performer. And tonight, all of us are designers, as you started. I have structured my evaluation in three main pieces: structure, presentation, and body language, which I believe those are the most important things. First of all, structure. Corina had a very easy to follow structure, very beautiful structure, very carefully crafted, I may say. I loved your introduction. I felt connected from the beginning because you said all of us, we all are designers. And when you start with a statement like that, you introduce all of us in your universe, which is a very clever way to start. Because this is how you introduce the technical stuff afterwards, which personally I don't enjoy that much, but because of the introduction was very nice to follow. Okay. Yes, and we are still in the structure area. I really loved the idea of, I find the cycle idea, because you started with the statement that all of us are designers, and ended with the statement that what kind of product are you, and I try to draw some thumbs up. It's a very nice idea to go back actually in a way, in a fashion to what you started. Okay, presentation. I felt very connected to you from the beginning because you had a damn good eye contact. On your previous project, which I saw, you didn't have that good eye contact, but now you carefully watch all of us, and I love that. On some point, I felt that you were going too fast, a little bit, just a little bit. But after a while, I thought maybe you didn't go too fast, maybe you needed some pauses, which actually you had some pauses, but you didn't have that much vocal variety, which I really felt the need to hear, which I recommend. Oh Jesus! I will shorten my presentation. The body language. I will talk about that in afterward. Like I said, very nice eye contact. Your hands that we were talking a few days ago. At your first project, you were very busy with your hands, which was quite tiring. Now, you're cooking something with your hands, which was a little bit better this time, but I felt that you don't know what to do with your hands. And for that, I recommend, what is the worst position? You can stay like this, and from here, you basically can do everything. You can embrace your public right and left, and you can point to yourself. Most importantly, open. Because we need to see this part of your hand, not this part. Okay? And in conclusion, yes, sorry. Beautiful presentation. I really love your voice. Very clean, accent, everything. I recommend to spice things up for your next project, to have some peak points, to just raise your voice or lower your voice and underline your main ideas. And yes, and I recommend to change position because you had a certain pattern that you were walking around. I recommend to change your position if you want. When you click, you can change your position. Okay, click, that's position. Basically, that's it. We will talk afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Our second evaluation also would be Dragoș Bilianu. He did answer with very enthusiastic energy. Usually I don't even perceive time. That's how much fun I'm having it. Let's welcome Dragoș. He's going to be evaluating Diana Mujan. Dragoș, please come forward. I'm going to ask you to present what's the objective for the
Of course. Well, let's get the formal things out of the way. Diana's objective was to apply the feedback she received in the last speech, and that feedback was, as you heard in the beginning, to focus on the eye contact with the audience, to not search her ideas in the ground or too much on the ceiling. Did I say that? I guess so. I think you did improve. There is room for further improvement, but I don't think this is like the main issues we should focus on in your speech. And I want to just, for the public, raise your hand if you feel like Diana belongs on the stage. Like honestly, if she was born to be right here. I also felt that, and I was asking myself, why is that? Because so many of us come in front here and we seem kind of awkward and we don't really feel in our element and so on. And my guess is a little technique I heard from a CIA agent. He actually said he uses it to like check for authenticity in suspects. And it's about synchronizing the body movements with what you actually talk. But not actually synchronizing, I mean, not gesticulating in the same moment that you're talking to someone, that you're saying something. But having your movements like a split second before you say something. And they say that this proves that you don't start thinking about how to act in front of people, but you first feel the message, and then you say it. And maybe we didn't really notice that. I mean, we didn't really look, okay, how many split seconds passed before she actually started talking about something she gesticulated about. But we subconsciously felt it because this is the way we talk to our friends. You know, when we are in the town at a beer or something, usually words don't come that easily. But trying to actually show what we're talking about always comes before actually saying it. So I think this really contributes to your authenticity. And how do we actually do it? Well, I don't think that there is actually a way of implementing this technique, so you'll have to talk to Diana about that. I'm just observing. Maybe. So now the thing that I think you could improve is funny because we actually talked about it very much before we started this, and that is the content. So first of all, you made us promise in the beginning that we would listen to you, that we would write down what you said and we would apply it. And here I will borrow a little advice I received from Jana, our dear president. She said that when you want people to inspire people to do something, don't tell them what to do. Tell them how you did it and how it impacted you and how it changed your situation. And make it dramatic, make it, I don't know, impactful. Don't tell them directly what to do. Especially don't try to force them to do it. Because they will become maybe skeptical. So, also you spend a lot of time on this part, like hyping us up for the message that follows, and that took away from the time you invested in actually proving us that it worked for you. And the second thing was your objective. Your objective was to make us believe that your method works and that we should apply it. Yet the idea that I remained from your speech is the small, chunky Jewish guy that told you he ate his pride. And if anything, I learned that I should be more open to others and like start to communicate, rather than, you know, applying the actual steps you prescribe us. So how I would suggest you to fix this is try to ask yourself before writing your speech, what is your objective? And focus on that, and pour all your energies on that. Don't try to, you know, bump up the beginning to, you know, lose everything near the end. That is my personal advice. So, as a conclusion, this was one of the best speeches I've seen here, execution-wise, and you belong on stage as a proof of your body language. I mean, it's obvious, and the thing that still remains for you to work on is exactly what we talked about, that is confidence. Try to focus a little more in your speeches. Thanks for your attention, and can't wait for your next one.
Thank you, Dragoș.
Thank you.
And now for the third speaker, we have as evaluator Vladio. He did answer for our tonight question with a long answer. I'm going to pick up some notes from here. Externally, long term, by looking at photos taken in the past of myself, of those around, and noticing the difference brought upon by passing time, but a very nice one internally of long term, feeling differently than sometime in the past in relationship with other people or circumstances. For example, I get a different feeling when speaking in public now than the feeling I used to get a few years in the past. Dragos is going to be evaluating, Radu is going to be evaluating our current advanced reception. He had a level 5 project, persuasive leader. Dragos, feel free, the stage is yours.
So, we all want to inspire, we all want to persuade. As public speakers, when you come here on stage, you want the people listening to you to make a change. You want them to create a better design of themselves. You want maybe for someone to replace suffering with pain, or just pleasure, or maybe not. You want to make a change in the world. You don't want to bore your audience. You don't want people to waste their precious fleeting time while listening to you. You want to inspire and persuade. And tonight, I became here in front, practicing, inspiring, and persuading people. Well, those here in this hall. So, what was important to inspire or persuade us with? Well, it was important to transmit a vision of a future and maybe have us join him in a mission to change the world in a certain way. So I had to say, Ali, from the get-go, that the vision, the transmitted, I felt it, I feel that it's a positive mission, although it's not very clear to me exactly what it is. And I did notice bits and pieces which are very important. Like for example, you mentioned that learning leadership skills is important. And you also mentioned that it can be difficult to identify leaders. You will remember that example with Obama and Gandhi before and after. Like how could we choose the best leader of those? You also mentioned that classical positional leadership model is ineffective because it doesn't scale. You also mentioned about leadership moments, how important it is to focus on the other person and not on yourself. And also choose the right way to influence. So these very important bits of the grand vision, which I'm not very clear exactly what it is. And maybe sometimes that's our vision should be not very clear, but doing it. Now in terms of connecting the audience's desires and fears and wants to this mission. I noticed you mentioning feeling sick of the actual, the present political, economic leaders. You mentioned that. And also, what I found very nice is towards the end when you said you might think you're at the bottom are not important. So you face people's potential feeling. You know, when you're feeling not important or at the bottom. And that helps you, I believe, set the stage for your more positive message. That you and your actions matter. I believe that was the most pervasive message that you transmitted, that you and your actions matter. And the way that you portrayed this was with a personal story. I think it was an excellent personal story. You underlined the importance of focusing on the other people's needs, other person's needs, and maybe overpassing your internal dialogue and just looking at the other person. Now, in order to underline happier gestures, to emphasize choosing the right way towards the end, that you can influence one way or the other. It's up for you to choose. Now, in terms of actually motivating the audience to act, I'm not sure. I can only speak for myself. And I was moderately persuaded to pay more attention to those around me, what they say, and try to go over the internal dialogue and personal beliefs and just take things as they are. And that's one thing that we practice here, or we try to practice as evaluators,
just notice what the other person is saying and evaluate that. So overall, I'd like to say that I noticed a positive total vision, and I appreciate that. You had a great engaging exercise, and everybody laughed and were there. Your call to action at the end was clear, and it was underlined by your body language. And maybe as the few pointers to improve in the future, to spend maybe a little more time on identifying more hopes, dreams, and fears of the audience. And maybe identify a recurring theme or message and just use it over and over again to make things clear. So overall, good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. We will go on with our technical evaluation, and I will invite our grammarian to present the mistakes that we've done. Sleep on. So please take your slippers and from the stage.
Okay, so Ioana, as a president, I really like that you said stir up the courage to come on stage. That was a really nice creative expression. As a slip-off, I didn't find anything. And as an A counter, you said that this purpose is to pay attention. You should have said that the purpose of the role is to make you pay attention to what you're saying. Otherwise, really great.